Hi, I'm Susan Pruitt, and I work for Total Patient Service, and I work with Steve Anderson. Many of you heard Steve speak this morning that we train teams all over the country how to hear yes more often. We also get to have coaches that go into practices, and I have been afforded the opportunity to get to work close hand in hand with those coaches on community marketing. So what I'm going to talk about today is creating community marketing events that are social media worthy. So I want you to take for just a minute, and I'm going to show you a slide. My clicker works. There it goes. The number one trait of the most magnetic people in the world is, I want you to think about that. A few years ago, I was attending the Crown Council annual event, and John O'Leary posted this question, and many people were struggling with the answer. And all of a sudden, he said the word gratitude. I don't know if that's what you were thinking about, but as I sat and reflected, I have two teenage girls at the time, and I thought, yes, that is definitely a value that my husband and I both have tried to instill in our girls. So as you're going to love this next text, I decided it would be really fun to send a family text message. As we know today, to get teenagers to communicate, or maybe your husband, or even your patients to respond, best is text message. So let's look at this. I sent this text message, and I said, the first one to win wins a treat. My daughter Kate responds in less than 30 seconds, gratitude. And I was thinking, wow, I am such a proud parent. I couldn't wait to text my husband to say, wow, she got it really quick. Watch this. I Googled it. Of course she Googled it. 30 seconds or less, I should have figured that. And I thought to myself, why didn't I think to Google it? But she was, the next thing really I appreciated. It said, sorry, I wanted to win. Honesty is another thing that we try to still in our girls. And so I said to my husband, at least she got that she told the truth, which is really important. Well, we know that gratitude can make the difference. And that's exactly what I want to talk to us about today. So I'm going to share strategies that have been proven to improve your patient loyalty as well as grow your patient. I thought to myself, how in the world if we know the very best patients come from where? Referrals, word of mouth, exactly, from referrals. What could we do, as Steve talked about this morning, to get our patients talking about us? What could we do? We want them to be our walking billboards. Wouldn't you love every day when your patient walks out the door that they were wearing that shirt that said ABC Dental by what they said? Well, you can do just that. So we created this program that is proven and is a system. It's very simple. So stay with me here. We're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about Patient of the Month, new patients, and business to business. You might be asking, Susan, what is Patient of the Month? What in the world does that mean? Well, let me ask by a show of hands, how many of you have ever had a doctor, your family practice doctor, an optometrist, show up in your doctor office, in your dental office, show up with a special treat? Anyone? Anybody's hand? Oh, you did. Great. Awesome. So we had one out of all of you. Well, that's exactly what we want to happen. We want to see a special treat showing up in your patient's place of work. What would that look like? Well, you can imagine everybody in the organization would be talking about your office. And I had the opportunity to do just that. I traveled all over DFW area delivering a special treat for our Patients of the Month. Now, I trained the teams to come up with the information that I needed to be able to go to deliver. Well, one of the first things they always would ask, like, how in the world, we see all these patients, how in the world are we going to figure out who to choose? Well, let me show you the criteria for our Patients of the Month. We love their insurance. They're big talkers. Their business is close to the office. They've completed a lot of treatment. Maybe they've wrote an awesome review. Those are the kind of things that we wanted to talk about. So what I did is I said, I want you to come up with one person all week. You normally see between 12 to 20 patients a day. You just have to come up with one, every single team member. And we gave them a card at the weekly team meeting that they had, and we asked them to give it to one patient. And this is what the card looks like. Patient of the month. It says their name, their employer name, address, cell phone, and work. So it goes like this, and we had to train this with our team to say, when Mrs. Smith comes in today, you've chosen her, you already have her name written on there, and you say, Mrs. Smith, I would love to enter your name into our Patient of the Month drawing. Would you please make sure that you put the place of work, so if I showed up with your $1 million surprise, I would be at the right place. Don't laugh, because they might work for Dallas School District, but really they work for, Jones Elementary. So it's really important that you make sure when you're sending me out to deliver, I'm going to the right place. So that's how we did it. And then the office manager took all of those, and she chose 4 for the month. We had it on a Google spreadsheet that I could see, and then I could go out and do the deliveries. Now, I worked for 8 different practices, so believe it or not, I had 8 different name tags. I had set days I tried to figure out where I was going and making sure I was wearing the right name tag. So this is just an example. I went to a private school. It was awesome. Now, in today's world of getting through, you're going to have to show your license, your birth certificate, your firstborn, everything when you walk in. So just be prepared. Walk in with your license. So this is exactly what happened. I went to a private school. I told them who I was. I also had a special, believe it or not, people still get mail. So I used letter openers that had our logo on it. So when I met the lady at front, I would say, here, I have a special treat for you. Well, the first thing they're looking at me, trying to figure out what in the world this lady has a pie. Oh, it must be somebody's birthday. And I said, no, it's just a special treat from Dr. Anderson, and I have a special surprise. She has no idea I'm coming. Well, when they got in on the surprise, they got all excited. So the front desk would run to the back person and say, hey, come here. The dentist's office from Susie, she has a special surprise. Come, we're going to go surprise her. They parade me down the hallway, and here I walk into the classroom full of kids, and I get to present this to her. As you can see from her smile, she was thrilled. The first thing she said is, I can't wait to post this on Facebook. And of course, I was like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Well, as you can see on here, here's the pie. Came from Sam's. It's homemade there. Very delicious, $7.99. You have dollar store right here. You have nice wrap packaging, and there's forks underneath, and there's a pie server. The reason for this is the idea is that they would share this. So that's the whole idea, that they would pass this on. And then also, under it, there's something called, we created this so that they would give something to give to their friends and family. It's called the golden ticket. Wow. This was something that we created so that they could pass on. So I would say, Sherry, I have 2 special golden tickets. These are for your friends and coworkers that you might know that might love to come see us, that might be looking for a dentist. And 9 times out of 10, they would look at me and say, well, what if I need more than 2? Not a problem. I can make sure that happens too. And if you'll notice right here on this line, it says referred by. I would always write the patient's name. So it would have the patient's name written on there, and I would bring that to her attention. And I would say, the reason your name is on there is so when your friends or coworkers or family comes in, we will send you a special treat in the mail. And that's what we did. We mailed a $5 thanks a latte card, and we sent that to them that our whole team signed. You'll also notice, can anybody tell me where I am delivering this pie? A car dealership. You're exactly right. Now, this isn't the best one. I didn't get one when I went back where they were changing the oil. True story. I had to parade all the way back to the customer service. The guy is up underneath. I'm standing there holding the pie. But it all came from this one referral when I actually went there to visit. She referred people, and I continued to go back. So as you also will see, there's a little thank you note right here that you're going to see in just a minute. I would have the teams every single week, the doctor and all of the team members sign the card, so when I went to deliver, it was personalized from them. And the card said, any way you slice it, the Carrollton dentist appreciates you. Your logo, that's what you put there. Very simple. I also will tell you now, it's so easy to create your own QR code. So if you do that, then you can they can scan it, and you can make a personal video message from you and the team that they could scan and they could see it, just like being there. I even had an opportunity to go to Cane's headquarters. This was an experience for me. If you don't know anything about Cane's, it's kind of like a Chick-fil-A in the South. An incredible corporate office. So it was really fun when I showed up because I'd never heard of Cane's, didn't even know what it was. The lady worked in HR and said, oh, would you like a tour? Well, what a better way would I love a tour, walking around with my name tag. She was introducing to everybody that I met, constantly saying, oh, she's from my dentist office. Oh, where do you go to the dentist? And it was one after the next. I think I ended up having to go back with 20 golden tickets because we got so many referrals from this practice. I mean, just by going to this to be able to share about the practice. And of course, she was thrilled to be able to post it on her Facebook page as well. Now, people always ask me, well, Susan, what do you do when you would show up and the person wouldn't be there? And you know, many times that worked to our advantage. So I would always take a piece of paper and just write on the back, and I would say to the receptionist, this is your responsibility, I need your help. Would you please make sure when Miss Smith comes back tomorrow that you take her picture and have her email it to us? Oh, and by the way, make sure she lets you have a bite of the pie. So this came back to us, and this is what she wrote to Dr. Goodman, and I'm going to read it to you because it's kind of hard, it's too small. I am all smiles right now. Thank you so much for the thoughtful gift. I really appreciate being thought of Dr. Goodman. She is an excellent dentist. I was surprised and grateful that she called me after my appointment to make sure I was doing okay. No other doctor has ever done that or delivered a treat to my place of work. I am proud to be a patient there, and my colleagues have grabbed all the cards off the pie. Can you please deliver more? Thank you so much. Wow. What could we ask for? What a way to show gratitude. Very simple. Not only can you go out and show gratitude from this, it also led to health fairs. So when I would go deliver a pie, and I would, in every single place when I delivered, I would always ask the patient, by any chance, do y'all have health fairs? I can't even begin to tell you the number of places. They were like, oh yes, let me introduce you to our human resource director. From that led to being a part of a huge city. They do a whole thing for their city employees. We went and we actually did health with oral health screenings. Great contacts in the community, everybody that you can meet from there. Your name, your branding, showing loyalty. Not only do you care about the patients, you care about the place they work. So when I took that idea, I realized, okay, we really did something. We got to see great results of patients coming in. What if we took that same idea and we did it for new patients? So that's exactly what we created. The second strategy of showing gratitude is going to be your new patient of the month. Using the same criteria, you can use the same patient of the month card that I just showed you, and you look at the same thing. We love their insurance, their businesses are close to the office, and they love us. Maybe it's the person who's talking about us. So we created this tag that said, we're popping with joy to have you as our new patient. We would love to welcome you to our dental family. I know many of you are laughing. A dentist office is sending popcorn and chocolate. Yes, we also had a $10 movie card in there. But it was great for me because people would always go, wow, you're delivering popcorn and chocolate from the dentist? And I said, yes, it's job security. So here is just an example of kind of what it looked like. You also, with your new patient, she also got 2 golden tickets. And guess what? Her name was written on the bottom to do just that. I will tell you, you might be thinking, how do I have the manpower to do this? Now in today's world of delivery, where everything is instant and you can get it in a moment, there's this great service called DoorDash or Tiff's Treats that deliver hot cookies. So people have even used it that way, and they do that versus having a special person go in. For me, it was the best part of my job to be able to interact and to be able to see people from the moment I got off the elevator. Somebody would be, oh, you're from a dentist's office? I just moved here. I need a dentist. So I always had cards that I was always passing out. And then their first question was like, oh, is it someone's birthday? And I said, no, our patient's chosen as a patient of the month. And every single time people would say, I've never had my dentist send me anything other than a bill. So those simple things of gratitude can really set your practice different. The third thing that I want to talk about is doing business-to-business marketing. How many of you know the people that are your businesses beside of you? Maybe you're in a strip center, maybe you have other business around you, but getting to know those, make that a priority by showing gratitude. Very simple. Just take a month, January. We're going to kick off the year, and it's our goal to make sure we meet everybody in our complex and have your team go and deliver it. The fire police stations, your local schools. I've already talked to some of you this morning and shared your ideas of things you do in the local schools. Another great way to be involved in your community. This is just a simple example. You're going to get to hear more about Smiles for Life tomorrow, and this is another great way that we could promote that as well. That's all done, a teeth whitening campaign that everybody loved knowing that we were helping raise money for local charities. So that's just an example of that. And once again, if you will notice, on every single, whether it was a Chex Mix or a pack of crackers, each of them had our logo on it. As I shared, this was also a way that we were able to get into health fairs. Now, one of the things I want you to remember, you have to train your teams when you go set up a booth. The number of pictures that I would take while our team was standing in front, the majority of the people were sitting in the chair behind them on their phone. I can't even begin to tell you the number of people. So it was really important that we trained our people to go out. Notice what she's doing. Can anybody tell me? What's her face? Smiling. Yes, being engaging, inviting. You also will see we were giving away a Sonicare toothbrush. We also were playing Plunko to get involvement. So another great way to bring people there. I also loved if the dentists from each of the offices would allow, if they would give me 1 hour of their time and come. So when the people were dropping by, I would say, come back during lunch. You're going to actually get to meet the dentist. They loved that part. We also set up the free oral cancer screening. Sometimes we could do that for a half a day, and we had people sign up early, depending on the human resource department on how they wanted to do it. But it was another great win for us to get new patients from this. I also just want to share an example of thinking outside the box. On our TOPS team, we actually went to an event called the RDH Under the Roof, and we were promoting our course, No More Hygiene, but one of the things we wanted to do was to be different than all of the other booths, and it's a huge meeting. And so we were racking our brain, our marketing director and I, Ryan, had a meeting trying to think, what could we do to set our booth apart? And we came up with a great idea. Ours was the backyard. We had green carpet, we had our cute picket fence, we even gave away, if you see right here, a little grill. I can't begin to tell you the number of people that would be like, oh my gosh, this is so cute, I want to come in your backyard. So trying to think of something that would engage people to want to know more about you. And I know some of you do that. I've heard people share they do in the community for a Christmas lighting. They do pictures with Santa. Things like that that you can make your practice be different than others. And I know you're probably all wondering, what in the world, what is the return is this going to bring me? Well, I want to tell you, every single thing that I delivered was between $10 to $12 total cost. Yes, Steve kept me on a really tight budget, so you have to remember that. However, the rewards paid out tenfold. So let's look at this. One current patient referred 5. When I added up all their treatment, it was $16,053. One new patient referred 2, $6,507. A health fair, we got 3 new patients, $9,039. As you can see, a little bit of gratitude can go a long ways. Everyone likes to know they're appreciated. Simple things that you can do in your practice. Gratitude plus community will equal new patients. Not only can you show gratitude to your patients, I want you to take this back and do the same thing with the people you work with. Go to the dollar store, buy everybody an extra pack of gum. Write a note, you're extra special, we appreciate you. A thing of Whoppers, you're a Whopper of a team member. Do the same thing for your family. I promise you the gratitude that you give to others will pay back tenfold in every aspect of your life. I want to leave you with this. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Thank you.